So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, and I think especially for lawyers and really any business owners, especially lawyers who we work with a lot, because, the work they're doing is often so intimate when you think about kind of the nature of someone being in a legal situation.
Get ready to level up your law firm's marketing. We hope you get a lot of value out of today's episode.
And if you do, we only ask you for one thing: share with a friend. All right, let's get into it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. As always, we are your hosts. I'm Smike.
I'm Eddie.
And today we have a very, very special guest with us.
Very.
Got to butter him up because he's the CEO of the company I work for.
Good job.
But Marc Cerniglia, excuse me. I'm already messing it up. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be
anytime for you guys.
We talked about this a little earlier, obviously right before we started recording. And one of the things that you have said in the past is that, law firm owners, yes, they're lawyers. They went to school to be lawyers. But if they own a law firm, they're a business owner first. Right. And so the power of effective client communication in a law firm. That's what we wanted to talk about today. A very important aspect
of course
to any small business.
Of course.
So let's just start off real quick. What does effective client communication, what does that look like?
So effective client communication, I think, really starts at the beginning, which may sound obvious, but I think that every business, even a law firm, has a sales process, right? Even if sales sounds like a bad word, right? Mm-hmm. So whether that be a consultation, whatever way you actually sign someone up or take on a case or take on a job, whatever it might be. But everything in your marketing, everything on your website, everything that you say on the phone, that you say in an email, that you say in a consultation or in the sales call or whatever type of sales meeting there is, your expectation setting in all of that communication, right? Yeah. So from what's said on your website about your firm to the actual interactions people have with your firm, you're setting expectations, or you ought to be, mm-hmm. I guess would be my answer to your question. So here's where I can kind of go from really like long answer on the front end to quick on the back end. The reason the first step to effective client communication is setting expectations at the beginning is because the number one thing needed for success with a client or a customer is for them to receive whatever they expected to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely.
Okay. So you have to set the expectations as clearly as you can, that if you work with me, you purchase our product, you purchase our service, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a result, right? A law firm can't guarantee an outcome in a case, but this is what it looks like to work with us. These are the expectations I want to set on what an experience is going to be like. This is the likelihood or unlikelihood of said outcome, right? Yeah. We're a marketing agency, right? It's really important that our clients understand what it is we're actually going to deliver for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it goes way beyond just services. Obviously the services are very important.
I mean, it may or may not. I mean, I think the thing is that it doesn't necessarily. It all depends on whatever expectations you want to set as a business. I mean, if I go into a candy shop and I buy a pack of Skittles, I'm expecting it to taste like Skittles. I mean, they're really. Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, they're really. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward. But if for some reason, Skittles markets themselves as they taste like chocolate, and they don't, right? I mean, it sounds like a silly example, but it's the same idea. A happy customer starts with someone whose expectations were met. It's that simple.
I did not taste the rainbow in this particular package of Skittles.
Right. So it sounds simple, but I think that we can talk all day, and we will talk a little bit about there's all sorts of things you can do to get feedback, to check in with clients and customers. Are they happy? But usually when they're not happy, it's because an expectation wasn't met. Where did that expectation come from? Is that an expectation you set for them, or is it potentially an expectation that they created on their own, right? That you weren't aware of or didn't uncover, right? So all these things and tools you can do to, maintain a good relationship with a client are wonderful, but it starts with what is the customer or client expecting to receive, and do they receive that or something else or something that falls short of that? If you can't nail that, everything else is
Yeah, what do you got?
is not a waste of time, but you're starting, you're starting with one leg instead of two,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, like, especially for small businesses like that have small teams, like obviously when Spotlight started off, you're a small team. That was very important.
Well,
to
yeah,
set it off like right up from the
yeah.
start.
We also don't know all of this at the beginning of starting a company.
True. Yeah, very true. Very
right?
true. Yeah.
I think that when you're the business owner, I think you tend to pay real close attention to your clients more often than not because you're the business owner and the whole business feels like your baby.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, probably most business owners probably get too emotionally invested, don't know how to like separate emotionally from a client conflict or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, to be honest with you, and I think especially for lawyers and really any business owners, especially lawyers who we work with a lot, because, the work they're doing is often so intimate when you think about kind of the nature of someone being in a legal situation.
Absolutely.
And so it's really, really tempting for lawyers to want to continue to work closely with their clients for a long time. And the positive of that, honestly, is it becomes that much easier, I think, to have a pulse on everything we're talking about. Effective client communication. What could be more effective than the business owner, or in this case, the law firm owner, is the relationship manager, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's no rules. I think if that's what you want to do in your business or your law firm, you can. But it's important to also recognize the toll that it probably takes on you as a person, as a business owner, because you're going to be sensitive to everything more than an employee inside your business would.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do hand that over to someone else, you got to build customer service systems and processes for them to follow so they do a good job. But and back to your point from earlier, Mike, frankly, doing so also allows you to step back and more work on your business rather than in it, to actually act like a business owner and kind of work on the business. But, at the same time, it's like I said, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because also no one's going to extract as much information from a client relationship as the owner will.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Something that you touched on a little earlier was about client feedback. Clients are a great way to like send out surveys and whatnot to get that feedback, to know what's working, what's not working, what may need a little work.
You just said it. I think that, so step one, so setting the expectations.
Yeah.
But after you've properly set, hopefully you've properly set clients' expectations, now you have to actually check in with them. Yeah. Are those expectations being met?
Mm-hmm.
Are they being exceeded? Are we falling below what you just said? What are we doing well? What aren't we doing well?
Mm-hmm.
Potentially even, do you have anything else you'd like to see from us over and above whatever you were expecting?
Yeah. Are we delivering the right expectations, right? I guess.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. And then potentially even the cherry on top, if you want to, is potentially to ask what else would they want from you, even beyond, right? And this is where businesses also uncover opportunities or needs that their customers have that they didn't know about, right? So that is the bonus. Like, that part's not necessary, right? Like, you deliver XYZ product, clients' expectations are met, great. But what if there's XYZZ product out there
we don't know about
that you don't know about yet, or that you could be doing? And so I think also, sometimes asking for that little bit extra, like, what else do you need help with, or what else could you want? But it absolutely starts with, what are we doing well, what aren't we doing well, and so forth.
Yeah. We get a lot of questions from lawyers asking simply, where do I even start with my marketing? Like, what do I do first? What has worked for other law firms? What are law firms planning to do this year? And so we've created one of the best free resources. It is the Legal Marketing Trends Report. We are on the 3rd edition. We surveyed hundreds of lawyers across the entire country, found out what they were doing in their marketing, found out what they weren't doing in their marketing, where the opportunities are. You can get your digital copy by checking out the description for this podcast and get started today. All right, let's get back to it. And I've seen a lot of questions online where people ask, small business owners ask, law firm owners ask, hey, I got a negative review or I got a negative comment.
Mm-hmm.
almost like a hate mail kind of like deal, like where they're just going after
Sure,
you.
yeah, well-
yeah, very much considered feedback. What can you do with that? Is there anything? To do with
So
that?
let's talk about maybe how to handle a negative review.
Yeah.
Right. That's that's a really good one for any business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, the very first thing, honestly, is if you feel comfortable reaching out to that person privately, to just basically say, hey, I saw your review. I mean, be empathetic, because even if you feel like you're in the right, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, the best outcome for you as the business and the business owner is for that review to be taken down.
Yeah.
Like that's actually the best outcome you could have. I'm willing to suck up my pride a little bit.
Absolutely.
If it means that review gets taken down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this is also my opinion. I know people out there that will combat because they feel like the truth matters more than anything else. And to some degree, I actually get that. And so I'm not necessarily saying it, I'm not criticizing maybe an alternative approach, which would be to respond publicly, to maybe apologize for the situation, but communicate where you do feel like maybe that review is unfair. There is also a respectful way to respond to a review publicly and disagree.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think as consumers, I think we may look favorably on that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that for the most part, for me, my number one goal is going to be, let's just get the review removed. And so I'm going to reach out to that client or customer and say, hey, look, I understand you're disappointed. And then here's kind of the fill in the blank, right? I understand you're disappointed. I understand you're upset. I'm really sorry about that. And then your fill in the blank is whatever you want to say to that specifically. Is there anything you can offer them? Is there any way you can make it up for them? Do you want to go and politely disagree with them in the email and just tell them why? But I still understand your point of view. But I did want to address you privately. But no matter what, at the end, you say something like, listen, you have every right to leave that review, but it really negatively affects me and my team and the company. Is there any way you would consider removing it?
And to go a little step deeper, say they don't, would you then maybe respond to it publicly?
Yes. Great point. Yeah. So how about this? 100% of the time you should respond to a negative review.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just maybe would try to get it removed first, or even after you've responded. Even if your response is just, hey, such and such, we're really sorry that this was your experience. You know, we're very interested in how we can make it right. You know, we've reached out to you privately.
Yeah.
And that, that works regardless of how out of left field the comment is. Like if they say Spotlight Branding, I mean, they were the worst bunch of realtors I've ever had in my life. And we're not realtors. I mean, it's obviously, so it's
right. And I think in a case like that, if you want to go to and address the fact that we're not realtors,
right? Yeah,
you can do that. Also, I'm pretty sure I've never been through it personally. I don't know if either of you guys have, but I mean, I do know there's ways that you can, like a lot of these different websites, whether we're talking Google reviews, Facebook reviews, that you can file a dispute.
Yep,
for sure.
And I would imagine in this scenario that they just get your business wrong,
right? Like
they think you do one thing and you do another. That would be grounds for probably even getting the review removed.
Yeah.
That's another route you could go.
Yeah. And obviously, like we said before, that negativity could have stemmed from some sort of misunderstanding. And so that just goes to prove how important, effective communication is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're soliciting your customers' feedback, why are they going to ever feel a need to go leave a review on their own that's negative?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it happens. I'm not saying that.
Without a doubt.
I'm not saying that, if someone leaves a negative review that they wouldn't have if you were doing a better job keeping in touch with them. But, it takes energy and effort to go leave a negative review. I mean, to leave any review, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we typically have to ask for the positive reviews, and that's fine. Ask for the positive reviews.
Always.
But it takes effort and energy for someone to leave a negative review, and a lot of times they want to feel like they got it out. And I don't know. I think human nature is, if I feel like I got it out to you,
I'm hurt.
or if I feel like I got it out to you, I don't feel like the next thing I need to go do is put it online, unless you gave me some just awful smug response or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You complain to a server at a restaurant and they handle it poorly, you're probably even more motivated to leave a review. But
And sorry goes a long way to disarm somebody. I mean, always.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's not even always necessarily I'm sorry or something you did wrong, right? Again, going back to here's the expectations we're setting.
Yeah.
Now we're going to check in if those expectations are being met. So it's just knowing if the expectations are being met, and even if they're not being met, sure, there's I'm sorry, but here's what we can do to meet those expectations or reset those expectations.
Yeah.
If you're staying on top of your client relationships, you know where they're at. You know, you'll be getting no negative reviews for the most part, and you'll be asking for the positive reviews.
Yeah.
Happiness based on realistic expectations.
Yeah. And to kind of move this this conversation back into a little bit more of a happy, positive vibe, we can talk about effective ways of communication, client communication. And one of the most effective ways, something that we talk about all the time, literally all the time, is just simply staying in touch with your current clients, with your current network, through an email newsletter, through social media.
Yep.
Well, I mean, this is the same reason that even if you wear a certain brand of clothing like Nike or something like that, Nike still wants to market to you because they want you to continue to think Nike's a cool brand.
Yeah.
And you know, in maybe a service-based business like a law firm, it is different. I don't want anyone to hear me saying you need to go care about branding in the same way Nike does, because that's not what I'm saying. But but when you're working with a service-based industry, as the consumer, as the client, I think honestly, one of the ingredients in the pot is just feeling like the business you're working with is good at what they do, or maybe it is that they're cool or they're experts, right? And so when you use your marketing to stay in touch with not just your whole network, but your clients, right? Maybe maybe your clients get an email newsletter from you. Maybe they get a physical newsletter. Maybe you send a holiday card or birthday card in the mail. I mean, print still matters. Maybe they see your social media posts once in a while, and you're putting out content about what you do. I think that just reinforces to your existing and past clients that like you're up with the trends, in the sense that like you're on social media or you're sending email, you're marketing yourself, and
keeping pace.
Yeah, you're keeping pace. Great way to put it. And so there's that element also too of like liking the company you work with, right? Like good vibes, good energy.
Yeah.
So I think that when you use marketing to stay in touch with your existing customers or your past customers or clients, it's good energy, right? It's good energy, whether that's them feeling like you're cool or you're experts or you're trustworthy, you're credible, or you're hip, whatever. Pick your word, pick your vibe. Right? But
and that makes it a whole lot easier to then ask for feedback, right? Because the feedback helping you grow.
Well, and it makes them often more excited to work with you, which means they want to refer to you, right? Like if the place you do business with, you feel like they're cool, or you feel like they're experts, or like anything that makes you like excited to tell someone about them. Like, I know the best blank.
Oh yeah, I love giving referrals. It makes me look good, right? I mean, is there something like intrinsically selfish about giving a referral? Like, I feel good about giving a referral when I trust and believe in something.
Yeah, or you just like something.
Just like something.
Yeah. Excited about it, right? But no, I think that zooming out, the idea of give, ask is that in all of your marketing, you're giving way more than you're looking to receive, right? You're giving away information, you're giving away your expertise, you're giving away some of your knowledge, your support, your help. It doesn't mean you'll never ask for something. You can give, ask. You can give, ask, right? But
just as long as you're giving before you ask.
You're giving more. I think you're giving more than you ask.
We're reinforcing the idea of value-based content. I mean, we're not posting cat videos and TikTok dances, right? There's why we're posting valuable and educational content.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, if somebody was giving value through cat dances and things like that, like that's okay too. I mean, I think there's a separate conversation about making sure your content's maybe relevant to what you do. But to be honest with you, I think what matters most is that the content is giving, hopefully in a relevant way to your business.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think that old mantra of like you give to receive is really true within business and in your marketing as well.
Absolutely. So, well, that's going to wrap it up this episode of Law Firm Marketing Minute. Mark, appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Mark.
Maybe you'll have me back more often.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll talk about marketing next time we got you on.
Marketing with a C.
That's right. Marketing with a C.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Always.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week. Bye.